Hi, 8th grade drummers, it's Mr. Y, obviously. I'm here to do a little tutorial on Sound Innovations book number 17, the concert B-flat chromatic scale. This is the snare drum part, obviously, that I'll be doing. Not too much to worry about here, but there are slightly complex rhythms here and there. We've got 16th notes here. Now remember, sometimes the 16th notes come, in a group of four, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, or whatever. Sometimes they come so that there's an 8th note followed by two 16th notes. So like, for instance, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, or something like that. Sometimes you also have the two 16th notes at the beginning followed by an 8th note. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and, that kind of thing. Or of course, sometimes later on you have things like where there's a 16th note followed by an 8th note followed by a 16th note, which gets into some syncopated, complicated kind of rhythms. 1 and a 2 and, that kind of thing. There's none of those here. In this one though, you do have, in the first measure, for instance, on beat 3 and 4, you have an 8th note followed by two 16ths. So you have in the 3rd and 4th beats 3 and a 4 and a. And then in the second measure, it's throwing your curveball. It's the opposite. It's 3 E and 4 E and. So when you put the first two measures together, check it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 1 and 2 and 3 E and 4 E and. Not too hard, but it is a little tricky at times. In the third measure, you have a group of four 16th notes followed by one of the 4 and a. Plus then in the fourth measure, a long roll. So 3rd and 4th measures can be a little tricky too. We have 1 and 2 and 3 E and a 4 and a roll. And for the roll, what you want to do is just buzz strokes in a pattern of 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 4 16th notes on each beat. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. When you put buzz rolls on them, buzz strokes on them, they sound 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. Followed by at the end of that roll a tap that goes right into the 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and in measure 5. So altogether, measure 4, the roll is going to be 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and, like I said, going into measure 5. Measure 5 by itself, without the roll, would be just 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and just like, no, actually we haven't had a measure like that before, have we? Okay? So measure 5, 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and measure 6 is kind of the opposite version of it. It's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and. Then at the ending you have 1 and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 and 1. Not too hard here, but like I said, there are some things you have to worry about. What you might want to do is break it down into each individual measure to work on. Or even you could work on 1 or 2 beats. That's okay too. But if you really focus your energy on what the problem is, work on getting that down, and then try to put the big puzzle back together. That's a great way to practice. Practice small to big, that's what it is. Practice the small parts that are tricky, then put the whole big thing back together. So I'm going to play the 17, I'm going to play 17 all the way through. Here we go. 2, 3. Okay, pretty simple rhythmically, not too bad. 8th grade simple, not hot cross buns simple, but 8th grade pretty simple. Make sure the roll in the middle is nice and smooth. Make sure you come out of the roll carefully. That's where a lot of people make their mistakes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and 2 E and 3 and 4 and. There's a real distinctive difference between the buzz strokes or double strokes if you're doing that in the roll, followed immediately by taps. So buzz, tap. And you can really hear the difference. If you do it right, you should be able to really hear the difference there between those two. Other than that, I think it's fairly straightforward. If you have any questions, feel free to see me in class or email me. I'll be glad to answer anything you want. Thanks. Good luck.